Hi, this is Lorraine, and I'm going to do another video about the I am state. I've done 2 videos so far, and this is the third. The first video is just about this I am state, this awareness, this divine source energy's awareness of itself, where it exists when it is not in a state of creation. The second video is awakening from this I am state into a state of creation. This I am state, this divine source energy asking itself, who am I, what can I possibly be? And this third video is going to be about how how we are part of this divine consciousness and what that means, okay? And so when this divine source energy wakes up and starts asking itself, what can it possibly be? This is the inspiration for creation, okay? And as that consciousness starts to awaken and starts to consider what it can possibly be, that is the first stages of creation. But those ideas do not begin to manifest until a different point, another point of creation. It's almost like daydreaming. So as I'm daydreaming about my vacation that I really want to go on at Christmas, let's just say, I'm starting to manifest those ideas in my head, but they won't truly come to pass until I execute, okay? They won't coalesce until I make the reservation and then for the flight, until I pack my bags and get to the airport, until I get on the flight. That vacation will not coalesce until those events take place, right? So when this I am state begins to consider what it could possibly be, those are the fledgling stages of creation, okay? But what I want to get into more is not about those next phases, but about how we are a part of that creation process. And so this divine source energy has created this universe, okay? It's divine consciousness manifesting a reality to consider what it could possibly be, okay? And through us, we are divine in and of ourselves. We execute the will of divine. The divine source experiences itself through us, okay? We are fractals, pieces of this source energy. And this source energy must forget who it truly is in order to experience this universe from an authentic place, from a place of separation. If we all knew that we were divine and we could do whatever we wanted at any point in time in this reality or on any plane of existence, then it kind of defeats the purpose of having this experience. We have to see ourselves as separate, as something else other than this divine consciousness, and experience this world on its terms, okay? So we can say this source energy has created this world, but we also have an input, okay, in how this world is created. And so in a video I just created, I talked about how we are influenced by our parents, right? When we're growing up in a household, our parents are the sun and the moon, and they provide for us, they feed us, they make sure we're healthy, they make sure we go to school, excuse me, they talk to us and explain the world and how to live in it, right? And so they have a direct influence on not only our lives and our health and our well-being, but how we perceive the world around us. And this source energy works very much like that. So, but it's both ways. My kids, since the day they were born, are my greatest teachers. Okay, since the day they were born, both my parents passed. My dad passed a couple years ago, and my mom passed in 2005. But as those influences left, and I look at the world around me, there are very few people, if any, that affect me the same way as my mom and my dad did. And at this point, it's my children that affect me the most, because it's very important for me to raise good people. So I have to be very conscious of how I engage my children, how I care for my children, how I talk to my children, what I teach my children, okay? And so in that, I've become very self-aware of who I am, my own traumas, and how important it is for me not to impose those traumas on my children, okay? How those traumas have affected my consciousness is very important for me to work through those issues so I don't project my own fears and insecurities onto my children. And this is a work in process. I've been working through this my whole life, and I'm just working on it from a different perspective since I've had kids, okay? But that's the same thing of this world. The divine source was probably the greatest influence in creating this world, this divine consciousness. But as beings on this world, we have a profound effect on how this world manifests and what is going on this world, okay? Just the same way as that source energy comes in, it starts manifesting, it starts thinking about all the things it can possibly be. We each do the same thing. We sit in our minds and we consider, what can I possibly be? What do I want to do with my life? Where do I want to go to school or college? What do I want to do as my profession? Who do I see as my future spouse? You know, do I want kids? Where do I want to live, right? All these thoughts that are going through our heads help manifest our reality and influence our reality. But my experiences in my family affect my mom, my dad, and my brothers, okay? What I do, if my parents are worried about me or my brothers being out late, because I was a pretty good kid. I didn't stay out late and I didn't kind of push the envelope, but my brothers did. So if my parents are worried about my brothers, it's going to affect their mood and how they're behaving, and it can affect me, right? In maybe being overly protective or upset or short with me because they're stressed out, right? So we have that interaction. We have those influences, even if they're in the subconscious, even if my mom's not or my dad's not intentionally behaving in a certain way, it's because of what they got going on in their consciousness that's affecting their behavior. Same thing out in the world. We all affect each other, even if it's not in our conscious mind, or even if we're not consciously doing it by being kind and in conversation with someone, or being judgmental and critical of someone, yelling at someone who frustrated you, honking your horn at someone who's frustrating you on the roads. Even if it's direct like that or in the subconscious, we are constantly affecting each other. And I had a gift that I had shown you with all those rings in the last video. I'll bring it in again in this video, but in the last video I talked about seeing all these torsion fields interlocked, and that's what I'm trying to explain to you. From our heart, we project the fields that go around us, okay? They call them the aura, right? That's very common. People call it an aura or an etheric field, our etheric body. That energy field is all around us. I read auras, so I can look at your field and look at the colors and tell what's going on in your life. That's the aura, and it emanates from our heart, okay? And so what was shown to me was a torus emanating from the heart and expanding out around our physical form, below our feet, above our heads, out to the sides of us. And we all have a torus or a torsion field or an aura, and all those fields were interconnected. And that tells me, and I've always known this, but it's telling me I need to talk about this with you and tell you that each of us, even though we don't see those fields, even though we don't say something out loud, even if we're just thinking it, our energy fields are interconnected and we are communicating through our energy fields. And so we create the reality of this world through our thoughts, through our emotions, and through those interactions, whether we are consciously aware of it or not, okay? And so this world and what we're going through is being manifested by our thoughts, by our interactions, whether we are conscious of it or whether it's in our subconscious, it doesn't matter. Those thoughts are beginning to manifest. And so what's happening now are thoughts that we're manifesting from, it can be 10 years ago, it could be 20 years ago, it could be 50 years ago, it could be generational, it can be in the last 10 minutes. But we are responsible for the world that we are living in as a collective, all of us together. And so I think that was very important for me to talk about. And so we are creators. We are conscious or unconscious creators of this world. And yes, this source energy does have influence over what's happening on this world. It's not completely separated. We do have free will. That's why the world is in the state that it's in, because within and through our own thoughts, words, and actions, we have manifested this reality. But right now, there is a huge transition going on. So it is not only our energy fields, our consciousness, our auras that are affecting the planet. Mother Earth is coming in very strong. Father Sun is coming in very strong. And there are many other energies coming in, because we are not only influencing each other on this world, we are influencing the universe as a whole, because we are connected to all things. I am everything, everywhere, and nowhere. I permeate all things, unified always, never apart. That's true for all of us. We are all interconnected. So we are calling in a greater force, a greater source of energy that is committed to move Mother Earth back into balance. Okay? Because this is the will of Mother Earth. This is the will of Father Sun, of Solus. This is the will of the divine. And this is the will of humanity as a whole. Okay? We have chosen this path. Okay? And so I think I'm gonna stop there, because I'm trying to be more concise and shorter in my videos. But I think that's a good place to stop. Thank you.